Alright guys, Setrabit here again today. Big news to discuss. Firstly, I wanted to go through this fantasy draft we did on Spitfire last night. I'll link the entire episode down below in the description if you guys want to watch through the entire thing. It was about an hour and a half long. It was great fun. Thanks to Bryce and Tunny for putting this on because a lot of effort for those guys, but it was really good going. So we'll go through that in a second. Then I wanted to go through a load of news, a load of players announcing restricted free agency, and this reciprocity news that came out just a few hours ago from when I'm recording this video, that they will not be investing, as it seems, in this year of the CDL. We'll go into maybe some reasons for that and all the players and where they might end up in a few minutes here, and I'm sure you guys will leave your thoughts down in the comment section below as you always do. So like if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's hop right into this here. So the participants yesterday were Excellency Jono, so Excellency, if you don't remember, or Excellence, legendary name in UK Call of Duty, been around a very, very long time. So Jono, Alicat, Momo, Madcat, Reddit, all the Reddit mods were in a Discord, so Revan and a lot of the other Reddit mods were chilling in a Discord channel, deciding on their team. Nameless, Spaceman, of course, a caster, Infinity, Rab, so more casters, D-Treats, Reedy, so some names you might have heard of, I'm sure you will have done. So we were participating yesterday and it was a snake draft, so I was 10th in the snake, which meant that the picks went as follows: Octane, Kenny, Slasher, Simp, RC's, Dashy, TJ, Gunless, Dylan. I chose Priester as 10th pick. I thought this was pretty good going. It was a tough call between who should I pick between Priester, Formal and aBeZy. Those were kind of my first on the top of my radar. A lot of people here, we were trying to build the best team play wise. We weren't necessarily building as if we were organization owner trying to get Scump in just for the fan base and that. We're just trying to build the best team. We weren't really thinking about fans in this one, but we were definitely trying to think about roles and leadership and experience, and that's kind of what I was worried about. So Priest was my first pick. I thought this really doesn't need too much explanation. Then the snake continued and aBeZy was still available at pick number 15, so I thought I have to get him. Like, that is a steal. aBeZy has been so good this season. I don't think Priester and aBeZy really need too much explanation. Then we had Scraps, Karma, Temp, Attach, Envoy, Clayster, Apathy, Celium, Jerd. So some pretty nice teams to start with. I honestly think Madcat's team started out really nice. Then we came Looney. Illy was chosen up here. Illy and Cell, but an interesting rest of the team. Ali chose Decimate, then Pristini, Zero, John, Slacked, Zuma, Skies. Now in this position, I knew I needed an AR. And I wanted a competent AR, but Madcat had taken Arcetes, he'd taken Zero already. I was tempted to go for like a Methods maybe, because it's back on Boots on the Ground. I was tempted maybe by an Assault. Eventually I went for Morks because I feel like he's got experience in, Grand Finals and in championships and all of this kind of stuff, and he was very, very good for the last couple of years on the whole. He's a very solid player, but I knew after I took Morks I still needed some sort of leadership figure to be in the team, so I was a little bit worried. So Morks went, then Brack went onto D-Treat's pretty damn nice team, then Maniac. Mayhem was chosen by Reedy. Enable I thought was a nice pick. I kind of wanted to get Enable on my team, but GodRx was still available, and I thought at this point I've got to get GodRx while I've got the opportunity, because GodRx is such a great talent and has been so good the last couple of years, was just spectacular towards the end of this season. And I feel like all four of these guys don't really have much of an ego, or I think they would get along well if they have a good leadership figure to point them in the right direction. But that's what I was really worried about for the final rounds. So then Alex was chosen, which was a good pick. We had Spacely, who could have potentially been one of the leadership figures I was trying to put on the team. Accuracy, JCap was chosen as well by Reddit, and that's when I was thinking, and then Aches went as well a couple of rounds later. So I was really struggling here for who I was going to have as my final pick, or at least Aches went in the final round, sorry. So it was JCap, Kismet, Silly, Blast, Assault, Aqua, then Methods, Parzelion was chosen. Frosty, when Momo chose Aches, he kind of like stacked his team full of like E-United players and like World Championship winners. Then Metals, Shotzzy, Classic, Zed, Phantoms. I got Tommy in the end. I thought Infinity was going to take Tommy. So I think this rounds out the squad pretty damn nicely here, because Tommy can snipe in search. He can use He's really good at S&D, and he can use an AR or a sub, whatever's really needed. Priester is a very versatile player. You know what roles Abizi and Morks are going to have, but GodRx again can be very versatile. So I thought it's a pretty damn versatile team. Tommy will get so much work out of these guys. Interestingly, I chose Bevels as one of my substitutes because, we weren't choosing coaches here. So I thought if I choose Bevels as a sub, he can either sub in for a search and destroy, or he can just be there to give his input and work out some search and destroy strategies with the rest of the guys. A lot of people I feel like were trying to build 7-man rosters as if it's 7v7. But yeah, that was my team. Be interested to hear your thoughts on that down below. The other good teams, I think Infinity's team is pretty damn good. Nameless's team is interesting. He's got some interesting players on that one. Don't want to go into that in detail. Jono's team is questionable. I think Spaceman's team is also questionable. But yeah, Infinity's team is really good. Reddit's team is really good. My team, I think, is really good, but obviously I'm going to say that. So yeah, just an interesting turn of events. If you guys want to watch it in more detail, it'll be linked down below. Oh yeah, and this is my tweet about it. But moving on. Thought I'd scroll through this very quickly here. So courtesy of Domi Art, I'll leave a link to his work down in the description box below. He made these jerseys for all of the Division A teams, I think, this season, which are really kind of nice. We've got an Optic one, we've got a Gen G one, a FaZe one. I'm not sure if these are these legit sponsorships. I think they are. FaZe, I think it is sponsored by Nissan. Reciprocity ones, Midnight ones. Evil Geniuses, Luminosity, UAU. I think these are all really fresh. This Rec one's kind of nice. This FaZe one is way better than a lot of the FaZe jerseys they come out with, and the Gen G colours are really sick as well. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you that because pretty damn interesting. Maybe get this guy's name out there a little bit more. Moving onwards then, here we go. So gonna go through a load of announcement here, restricted free agents, whatever. Buzzo says he's looking for an opportunity to play in part of a CDL team, whether it be player or a coaching role. Luca said the same kind of thing. We have this as well from Bance going into the 2020 season. Unrestricted free agent willing to relocate with a valid US work visa. The amount of free agent tweets coming out right now are just incredible. This from Toronto as well. Jobs. We're looking for a head coach. Know anyone? So they already confirmed, interestingly, that Marky B is going to be the strategic coach, but they're looking for a head coach, which is interesting to me. I guess they want Marky B to do the strategy stuff, and then they want a head coach to actually be responsible for getting the players up on time and diet and these other kind of things. Maybe they'll have a dietitian as well. Who even knows? Might have a nutritionist. It's big time now, Call of Duty, the kind of facilities these guys are going to be moving into. Proofy is on the comeback trail, looking to get involved in the COD scene for 2020. If any CDO franchise teams would like to discuss opportunities, and Embos said the same thing on Twitter as well. I actually don't have that tweet up here, but Embos said a similar thing. Maybe I can just find it real quick because I might as well, right? Because it's kind of funny. So here we go. Embos, what does he say here? We've got to do a little bit of scrolling. So yeah, does he? Okay, he does this. You know where to find me, embosbusiness@gmail.com. I don't know if that's actually indicative of wanting to play this year. It might well be. We know how it is with Bose. But I thought that was kind of funny. We also have this from, Racine, Blast, same kind of thing. So restricted free agent. Phantoms confirming he's back on the FaZe Clan team. Gravity confirming exactly the same thing. Clayster just poked a bit of fun at all of these free agent tweets, saying he's a restricted free agent going into the 2020 Clash Royale season. Find a little, at gmail.com. Classic, unrestricted free agent for the 2020 CDL season. Dylan Cod, this is where it got intense. And I was like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, it's over. Dylan a restricted free agent. As soon as you see that Dylan is a restricted free agent, pretty much the Reciprocity are not going to be getting a spot in the CDL, because if they were going to, if they had a chance, you'd be holding on to Dylan with an iron grip, if at all possible. But, what a great organisation they've been the entire year. So Dylan a restricted free agent. Shawnee a restricted free agent. Dens, he doesn't officially announce a restricted free agent, but, he did this tweet thread a few days ago now, effectively implying that, he will definitely be moving onwards. Zach, restricted free agent. All the players. Alex says the same thing. Then we have the following from Wuskins, restricted free agent as well. This is when you just know Shane finishes off the job here. Going forward to the 2020 CDL season, I'm a restricted free agent head coach any franchise teams who are interested to see what I can bring to the table, feel free to reach out to me. Also have a P1 athletic visa and I'm willing to relocate. So, this pretty much put the final nail in the coffin of Reciprocity, and Chad Larson, I think he is the CEO CEO and owner of Reciprocity, follows up with this. Unfortunately, Reciprocity will not be participating in Season 1 of Call of Duty World League franchising. It's been an awesome year, grateful for the opportunity and to have made a mark in the scene. #RecPack. Hopefully we see Reciprocity another day. When they first came into the scene, I was skeptical, but they've been such a great organisation this year. All of the content they've come out with, a great team to keep up with and to support. It's a shame they won't be here next season, because a lot of people say, the reason why Optic have all the fans is the kind of content they were making back in the day. Reciprocity have made a great attempt to make some sort of content along those lines and really build a fan base within the scene. And, it's unfortunate the way it's worked out that they haven't been able to get a spot, whether that's because they don't have the resources to get a spot, whether Activision don't want to give them a spot, or whether they just don't see the investment being worthwhile. All of those, I think, are possible. I guess we'll just have to see going forwards. You never know in Season 2, Season 3, a Cloud9 might come in, a Reciprocity might come in. But for the first season, we're not going to be seeing Reciprocity, which means that Dylan and all of those guys are now free to go. And, well, not free to go, they're restricted, but, they will be picked up by other teams, I'm sure. At least a lot of them will. And then we had the following. Gen G players started announcing a similar thing. Space Lee, restricted free agent for the 2020 season. He was contracted there. Nagafen, same thing. Havoc, restricted free agent. And Chance, Morks as well, restricted free agent. So maybe I can pick him up to my team like the fantasy draft at the start. But look, a lot of Gen G players also saying they're restricted free agents. This doesn't necessarily mean that Gen G aren't getting a spot next year, because, of course, Envy have done the same thing and have released a load of their, or have, made Eggs, Assault, Silly, these guys all restricted free agents. But at the same time, Gen G had a lot more success this year. It's kind of interesting that you would put Morks out there. I'm not sure if Envoy's tweeted the same thing. The only thing Envoy's tweeted is this: it was a hell of a ride from top 40 at Vegas to where I am now. Wish we could have done more, but all we can do is move forward. So he doesn't necessarily say here, he says thanks to Gen G. Whether this necessarily implies that he'll still be on the team, who knows? It could be a situation like Envy where they're releasing some of their players, they're trying to keep Envoy and get some other guys in alongside him. So I don't want to read too much into whether Gen G don't have a spot yet, but it's clear that Reciprocity will not. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. Leave your thoughts down below, as I'm sure you will. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you next time.